Hi Joe.
Hi Ben.
How's your week been? I know you started your new job, didn't you, that you'd achieved through the Employment Services a couple of weeks ago.
It's good, you know, it's a good job that I've got, but I've got to admit it's getting on top of me a little bit, you know, kind of like working full time.
Yeah.
You know, it's making me a bit anxious and a bit stressed.
Is it?
Yeah.
Have you been having thoughts of dropping out?
I must admit, yeah. The other week, I've been doing it a few weeks now. I thought I'll give it a week, see if it gets any better. And I just feel really tired. And the other day, I was going to, phone in sick and stuff like that. And I was thinking about, whether to, kind of like just give it up, basically.
Have you spoken with Mark about this, the employment advisor?
He mentioned that I did speak to him, and I got some information that I could work. He said I could work because I was on ESA, if you remember.
Yeah.
And I couldn't really cope on ESA, which is why I got the job. But he said I can work up to 16 hours, I think, a week.
Yeah, I think so.
With that, and claim ESA as well.
And claim ESA and work 16 hours.
And I don't know if that was like.
No, I mean Mark's quite au fait with all this, the benefit side of things. So, okay, are you struggling to figure out what to do here?
Yeah, because I don't want to seem ungrateful for kind of like get the full-time job.
Yeah.
But I don't want to stress myself out where I end up back in kind of like where I'm feeling really depressed, anxious all the time.
Absolutely. So there seems to be some positives that have come from the job as well.
Yeah, I like the thought of having a job. I like even like the people I work with, no problem at all. And actually like getting out of the house and feeling as though I'm doing something different, but. Yeah. It's perhaps maybe, because I haven't worked in ages, maybe it's a bit too much and it's just making me a bit stressy.
Okay, well, if you're struggling to make this decision, then there's a couple of techniques that we try and use just to help put things in boxes and to clarify things a little bit. It's a particular intervention called problem solving, okay?
Okay.
Now, is this something that you've been worrying about?
Yes.
Okay, but this seems to be a practical problem, something that you're actually experiencing, something that you need to act on. Well, problem solving is a very structured intervention that we use to try and look at a problem and essentially look at what your options are.
Right, okay.
What do you feel the impact of not dealing with this might be?
I think the impact is that it will all get too much for me and that I'll end up ill again and I won't be able to work anyway.
So something needs to be done?
Yeah.
Okay. What are your options then? Well, first off, what's the problem? How would you define this problem?
The problem is, I suppose, that I'm kind of, I'm getting really stressed out. That I'm getting really stressed out with working full time, and I don't want to be ill again. That's a fear. I'm frightened that I'm going to become ill again.
Okay. And really, the question is, do I go on to benefits? Do I work, or do I work part time? So
yes.
Okay. What are your options? I'm sure you've given this some thought, even though it may have made you feel bad. So what are your options here?
Well, the option, I'll just stay and work full time. Stay and work full time and just hope that things get better. Hope that I don't get too stressed.
Yeah. Okay.
Give up work and go on benefits. Go back to benefits.
Go back to ESA.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Kind of like, I even thought of going to the south of France and robbing a bank.
Okay. Well, we can put that down as an option. We can put that down as an option.
Right, okay.
And
another one, ideally, I suppose, maybe the best of both worlds, work part-time and claim benefits for the other hours.
Well, see, that may have its own implications, doing that, but it's certainly an option, isn't it?
Okay.
Okay, so work part-time. Any other options? We've got stay in work, go back to ESA, work part-time and claim benefits, rob a bank. Any other options that you can think of?
They were the main ones.
They were the main ones,
yeah.
Okay. What I want to do is, I suppose, break these options down and really, very simply, just look at the pros and cons of each.
Okay.
Okay, that's what we're going to do. Now, are there any of those that you think are a no-go?
The robber bank one,
okay.
Just get rid of that one.
Okay,
yeah.
So we've got 3 real options that we potentially could work with here. If we start with staying and work full-time, pros, what would the advantages be of staying and work full-time?
The money aspects of it.
Okay, so financially better off?
I suppose being with people.
Yeah.
So being kind of like socialising more.
There's a social aspect to it, yeah.
I suppose a sense that I'm actually achieving something.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, sense of achievement,
Yeah.
meeting people, social aspect, and financially.
Yeah.
Quite important factors as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
What about the cons?
I think the danger is that I might get too stressed out.
Yeah.
I might kind of like become ill again, so that, you know, bad effects on my mental health.
So end up back where you were a number of months ago.
Yes.
Okay. Any other cons that you can think of at all?
I think they're the main ones off the top of my head.
So option 2, go on to benefits.
Yeah.
You know, you've been on benefits before, so take yourself back to the time that you were on ESA. Pros and cons of going back to that point now.
It was, I suppose, in some ways it was less stressful. I was, you know, I was kind of like, and because I was on my own a lot of the time, in a way, it was less likely to relapse because I wasn't dealing with that stress.
Yeah. What about cons?
I felt like a scrounger.
Really?
You know, every time you see it on TV, it's about, you know, benefit scroungers, so I felt like a scrounger. I was more isolated as well.
And what impact did that have on your mental health?
It just, what it was doing was, it was leaving me in this situation where I was only ever thinking about me and my problems, nothing beyond that. So it was like, you know, kind of like focusing all the time on things that were going wrong, and, you know.
Okay. And I know obviously the financial aspect was a pro to the staying in work. I imagine there's probably a disadvantage financially as well. Any others that you can think of at all, John?
Off the top of my head, no, the main ones, I suppose.
And so this third option, you spoke with Mark, and he said there's this option of going on to ESA, but working just up to a minimum of a maximum of 16 hours a week.
Yes, I think that's what he said.
So I appreciate that this isn't a situation that you've been in, but what do you think the advantages, the pros of that might be?
I suppose I'll be staying in work. Therefore, I'll still be getting a sense of accomplishment.
Okay, still getting the accomplishment, yeah.
There'll be the social aspect of it. I'll still be seeing other people and being with other people.
Yeah.
I'll be, you know, more secure than just being on benefits alone.
Okay. So there's some sort of financial security. Would there be any drop? Would there be a drop in wage to a certain extent, wouldn't there? With
the would,
working.
Yeah. I mean, I'd have to take that into consideration. I wouldn't be as better off even with part-time money in ESA as I would be working full-time.
Okay, but you'd be better than you would be if you were just on benefits.
Yeah.
Okay. Are there any disadvantages to that option that you can think of?
It's just about, you know, how my boss is going to react to it, you know.
Okay.
Whether, you know, I've not had this job very long, to go to him after about 2 or 3 weeks and say about going part-time, you know, I might think I'm swinging the lead a little bit, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, we've got here a list of positives and negatives for each.
Yeah.
Which of those do you think seems like the most viable option for you?
The most viable one is, certainly for the time being, I think it was option 3. I think, you know, stay in work part-time, but have a look at, you know, go for the benefits for the 16 hours, beyond the 16 hours.
16 hours, okay, so this seems like the most viable option, certainly for now.
Yeah.
What would you need to do as a result? Because once, I mean, what you may find is this won't be the right decision, in which case we need to come back and we need to problem solve this again.
Right.
But in terms of planning the steps forward that you're going to take here, you've made the choice that staying on benefits and working part-time would be best for you.
Yeah.
So what do you need to do to achieve that?
First of all, I need to see if that's a viable option with regards to work.
So how would you go about doing that?
I need to see my boss. I need to speak to my boss. You know, explain what the situation is. Do it face to face, because I think it's the only thing that you can do face. That kind of thing's got to be done face to face.
Yeah. Okay.
You know.
And when would you be able to do that? When's the best time to get your boss?
Well, what I want to do is straight away, really. So I'm going to try tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning. Okay. So you're going to go into the office?
I'm going to go into the office.
9 a.m?
Yeah.
After that, so once you spoke to your boss, what other steps do you think you need to take?
I think I need to kind of like see the GP as well, about, you know, explain that, you know, I have been working, the stress has increased, and maybe see what options there with regards to ESA and
because in order for you to get ESA, you're going to need obviously your GP's, you're going to need a sick note, aren't you?
Yeah.
So they're speaking to your boss and speaking to your GP.
Yes.
In terms of getting an appointment with your GP, when's going to be best for you? Does it take a while to get that appointment often with your GP?
You can do it online now, so I'll
Okay.
try this afternoon when I get back.
Okay, so this afternoon when home.
Yeah.
Alright. And beyond that then, so if you do get your sick note and you do get your and your boss is okay with this, what's the next step?
So as the next step then is to sort all that out and arrange with my boss for a start date to start part-time.
To start part-time. Yeah. Okay. Is there anything would you need to get the sick note in as well?
Yes, a lot to.
So you get the sick note in. Okay. Okay. Is there anything else that you think you're going to need to do to implement option 3?
I don't think so. Think they're the main ones.
They're the main things.
Yeah.
Okay. So in terms of between now and next week, do you feel confident being able to put in the outcome of this action plan?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. So what have we got to do then? What have we got to do?
Right, okay, so tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, I'm going to go in and see my boss face to face.
Okay.
If I can't see him at 9 o'clock, I'm going to make an appointment to do it.
Okay.
This afternoon, when I go home, I'm going to get online for my GP surgery.
Yeah.
I'm going to make an appointment.
Good.
And when I see the GP, I'm going to explain about both the way I'm feeling and the stress, and that I'm kind of like going to have to go part time.
Okay.
And going to get a sick note to
get a sick note in.
okay, now just get ESA.
There's a lot of ifs in there, okay, and something may not go to plan.
Right.
And if that's the case, then we can come back next week and we can review what our options are.
Right.
Or if you feel confident enough, if something does go wrong, you can go through this process yourself.
Oh,
Okay?
right, okay.
So try and go through it yourself, but you can bring any information to next week's session.
Right.
Is that alright with you? Everything's written down here. Okay, so I'm going to give you this. You've got everything there that you need to do, and I shall see you next week, Joe. Okay.
Cheers, thanks Ben.
No problem.
Cheers.